Have you noticed that little sniffle seems to hang around longer these days? Or maybe that vaccine you got last year didn't seem to protect you quite as well as ones you remember getting years ago. It's frustrating, isn't it? You used to bounce back so quickly, but now it feels like your body just doesn't fight things off with the same vigor it used to. It can make you feel a bit vulnerable, maybe even a little worried about catching things, especially when you're out and about or spending time with grandchildren. There's a natural reason for this shift. A quiet transformation happening inside us as the years add up. It's not something to be afraid of, but understanding it is like holding a secret key. It unlocks the power to support our bodies, even as they change. Our incredible immune system, our inner army protecting us from illness, goes through its own aging process, just like every other part of us. It's called immunosenescence, a big word for a natural, gradual shift. In this video, we're going to explore 6 specific things that happen to your immune system once you pass that 65-year mark. We'll look at why these changes occur and what they mean for your health day to day. But more importantly, we'll talk about how understanding these changes can empower you to make simple, practical choices that help keep your inner army strong and ready. It's about working with your body, not against it. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Let's dive right into the first big change that happens to our immune system as we get older. Think of your immune system as a complex, bustling city with different neighborhoods and specialized workers. One of the most important areas in this city, especially when we're young, is a place called the thymus. Now, you might not have heard much about the thymus. It's a small gland located in your chest, right behind your breastbone and between your lungs. When we are babies and children, the thymus is quite large and incredibly active. It's essentially a training ground for a specific type of immune cell called T cells. T cells are like the highly specialized soldiers of your immune system, learning to recognize and fight off specific invaders. Whether it's a new virus or a rogue cell that could turn into cancer, the thymus teaches these T cells what is self, your own healthy body, and what is non-self, the dangerous things to attack. It's a crucial boot camp, producing new, diverse T cells ready to handle whatever new threat comes along. Here's what happens after age 65 and sometimes even earlier. Starting in adulthood, the thymus begins to shrink, quite significantly. It gradually gets replaced by fat and connective tissue. This process isn't sudden, but it means that the thymus's ability to produce new, fresh T cells diminishes over time. Think of it like the soldier training academy winding down its operations. You still have plenty of T cells circulating from your younger years, the ones that have already graduated and been out in the field. Many of these older T cells are memory cells, which are excellent at recognizing infections you've encountered before. Like that common cold virus you've had multiple times. They can mount a quick defense because they remember the enemy. But the shrinking thymus means fewer new T cells are being trained. Fewer new recruits are joining the army. Why does this matter? Because new T cells are essential for recognizing and fighting new threats, things your immune system hasn't seen before. This is why older adults can sometimes struggle more with novel viruses or bacteria. Your existing memory T cells are great for old foes, but they aren't equipped to handle an entirely new invader. The reduced production of diverse, new T cells means your immune system is less flexible, less able to adapt quickly to brand new challenges. It's like having an army full of veterans who know how to fight past wars, but fewer young recruits trained in modern combat techniques. This is one key reason why infections that might cause a mild illness in a younger person can sometimes be more severe or take longer to recover from when you're older. It's not that your immune system stops working. Not at all. It's just that this particular branch of the service is producing fewer new soldiers ready for anything. Now, moving on to the second big change, let's look at another vital part of your immune city, the B cells. If T cells are like the soldiers, B cells are more like the intelligence and weapons manufacturers. They produce antibodies, which are Y-shaped proteins that circulate in your blood. Antibodies are absolutely critical because they can neutralize pathogens directly or tag them for destruction by other immune cells. When your body encounters a new germ, B cells get busy learning how to make specific antibodies designed to latch onto that particular invader. This is how vaccines work. They introduce a harmless piece of a germ so your B cells can learn to make antibodies against it. Creating immunity. As we age past 65, the production of new B cells also starts to decline, and the existing B cells might not function quite as effectively as they used to. Similar to the T cells from the shrinking thymus. This means your body is producing fewer new types of antibodies. You still have antibodies against everything you've been exposed to or vaccinated against over your lifetime, which offer protection against those specific things. But the ability to generate a strong, diverse antibody response to a completely new pathogen is somewhat reduced. What does this mean in practical terms? It ties directly into why vaccines can sometimes be less effective in older adults. Vaccines rely on stimulating your B cells and T cells to create a protective memory, with fewer new B cells and potentially less responsive existing ones. The immune response to a vaccine might not be as robust or long-lasting as it would be in a younger person. This doesn't mean vaccines don't work. They absolutely still provide crucial protection and are highly recommended. But it helps explain why booster shots are often important for older adults and why tailored vaccines like the high-dose flu shot for seniors are developed. It's about giving your slightly less agile B cells the best possible chance to build that vital immunity. So, we've seen how the supply of new T cells and B cells can decrease. These two factors lead us directly to the third significant change. The overall immune response becomes slower and less coordinated. Think back to our city analogy. With fewer new recruits T cells and potentially less efficient weapons manufacturing B cells, the whole process of identifying an invader, mobilizing the troops, and launching a counterattack can simply take longer. In a younger, more robust immune system, this response is swift and overwhelming, often stopping the infection before you even feel sick or keeping the illness very mild. In an older immune system, this initial response can be delayed. The immune cells might take longer to recognize the threat, longer to multiply, and longer to signal effectively to each other. This delay gives the invading pathogen more time to multiply and spread before the immune system can fully mount its defense. This is a major reason why infections can take hold more easily and why, once you get sick, it might take longer to recover. That cold or flu that a younger person shakes off in a few days might keep an older person feeling unwell for a week or two, or even lead to more serious complications like bronchitis or pneumonia. It's not a sign of failure, but rather a sign that the internal defense system is operating at a slightly slower pace, like an older computer that takes a bit longer to boot up and run programs compared to a brand new one. Understanding this slower response time is key to appreciating why things like good hygiene, avoiding sick people, and getting enough rest become even more critical as we age. They help reduce the initial load on your immune system, giving it more time to catch up and do its job effectively. Now, let's move on to the fourth major change that happens to your immune system after 65, something scientists call inflammaging. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it simply means that as we get older, many people experience a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout their body. Now, inflammation isn't always a bad thing. Acute inflammation is the body's immediate response to injury or infection. It's why your ankle swells when you sprain it, or why you get a fever when you have the flu. This is a healthy, necessary process where immune cells rush to the site of trouble to clean up debris and fight off invaders. However, inflammaging is different. It's a simmering, persistent, low-level inflammation that doesn't have a clear, immediate cause like an injury or acute infection. It's like a fire alarm that's constantly buzzing faintly in the background, even when there's no actual fire. Scientists aren't entirely sure why this happens, but it seems to be related to the accumulation of cellular damage over time, changes in gut bacteria, and the immune system becoming slightly dysregulated. Some of those older Veteran T cells we talked about earlier might also start releasing inflammatory signals unnecessarily. This chronic low-grade inflammation might not cause obvious symptoms like a fever or swelling, but it has widespread effects throughout the body. It's thought to contribute to the development and progression of many age-related conditions, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, cognitive decline, and even frailty. For the immune system itself, this constant state of alert can be exhausting. It's like your internal army is always partially deployed, which can make it harder for them to mount a strong, coordinated response when a real threat, like a new virus, comes along. The soldiers are already a bit tired and distracted by the false alarm. This contributes to that feeling of not bouncing back quickly and can make healing slower. It's a painful reality that this underlying inflammation can silently undermine our health in multiple ways. But here's where that understanding becomes empowering. While inflammaging is a natural process, it can be influenced by lifestyle. Things like poor diet high in processed foods, sugar, unhealthy fats, lack of exercise, chronic stress, poor sleep, and smoking can all fuel this fire. Conversely, adopting healthy habits can help dampen this inflammation. Eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats like those in olive oil and fatty fish provides antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Regular, moderate exercise helps regulate inflammation. Getting enough quality sleep and finding ways to manage stress are also crucial. It's not a magic bullet, but actively working to reduce this background inflammation is a key strategy for supporting your immune system and overall health as you age. Let's turn our attention to the fifth thing that happens: changes in immune memory. We touched on this when discussing B cells and antibodies. Over a lifetime, your immune system builds up a vast library of memories of every germ it has ever successfully fought off or been introduced to via vaccination. This memory is stored in special memory T and B cells, which hang around for years, sometimes decades. If you encounter the same germ again, these memory cells quickly recognize it and launch a rapid, powerful response, often preventing you from getting sick or significantly reducing the severity of the illness. This is the basis of long-term immunity after infection or vaccination. However, as we age, while the number of memory cells remains high, their quality and function can change. The memory response might become less robust. The memory cells might not multiply as quickly when re-stimulated, or they might not produce antibodies or T cells that are quite as potent as they were in younger years. It's like retrieving a very old file from a dusty archive. The information is still there, but it takes a little longer to access, and the output might not be quite as sharp as a brand new file. This is another reason why protection from past infections or vaccines might wane over time in older adults, and why booster shots are particularly important. The diminished quality of immune memory means you might be more susceptible to reinfection with certain pathogens, or that you might experience a more severe illness upon reinfection than you would have when younger. It also means that the protection conferred by annual vaccines, like the flu shot, is critical because your natural memory response from prior exposure or vaccination might not be fully sufficient to ward off the latest strains. The secret here, the empowering piece, is recognizing that while this natural decline in memory response happens, we can actively work to keep the system as primed as possible. Staying up to date with recommended vaccinations is one of the most effective ways to give your immune system a fresh reminder and boost that crucial memory response, helping it recognize and fight off circulating threats. It's like regularly reviewing those archived files to keep them readily accessible and ensuring they are still relevant. Finally, the sixth change we're going to discuss is a bit counterintuitive compared to the first five: the increased risk of autoimmunity. You might expect that a less vigorous immune system would be less likely to attack your own body. However, as the immune system ages and becomes less regulated, it can sometimes become confused and mistakenly target your own healthy tissues and organs. This is what happens in autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or certain types of anemia. Why does this confusion happen? It's complex, but several factors contribute. That chronic low-grade inflammation we discussed. Inflammaging seems to play a role, constantly stimulating the immune system in a nonspecific way. Also, the decline in the production of new, diverse T cells from the shrinking thymus means there are fewer of the regulatory T cells that are crucial for telling the immune system what not to attack. It's like the police force has fewer officers trained in de-escalation, making friendly fire more likely. Existing T cells might also become less tolerant of the body's own tissues over time. While not everyone will develop an autoimmune condition as they age, the risk does increase. Symptoms can range from mild joint pain and fatigue to more severe issues depending on which part of the body is being targeted. This might sound alarming, but again, understanding it is the first step. While genetics play a role in autoimmunity, lifestyle factors that support overall immune health and reduce inflammation, the same factors we discussed for inflammaging, like diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management, can be helpful in managing the risk and severity of autoimmune conditions. It's about creating an internal environment that promotes balance and reduces the likelihood of the immune system becoming overzealous and misdirected. It reinforces the idea that supporting your immune system isn't just about fighting off infections. It's also about keeping its complex components working together harmoniously and appropriately. So, we've explored these 6 key shifts that occur in your immune system after age 65, the shrinking thymus reducing new T cells, the decline in new B cell production, the overall slower and less coordinated immune response, the increase in chronic low-grade inflammation inflammaging, the diminished quality of immune memory, and the increased risk of autoimmunity. It's easy to hear all of this and feel a bit disheartened, like it's all downhill from here. But that's not the message at all. The surprising truth, the secret I mentioned at the beginning, isn't that our immune system falls apart. It's that we have significant power to influence its health and function. Even as it ages, understanding these changes isn't about dwelling on limitations. It's about recognizing where the challenges lie so you can strategically support your body. Think of it like maintaining an older home. It requires different care than a new one. But with attention and effort, it can remain strong, comfortable, and reliable for many years. Every single one of those 6 points we discussed highlights areas where lifestyle choices can make a real difference. Remember the chronic inflammation. Eating those anti-inflammatory foods, moving your body regularly, getting enough sleep, and finding ways to manage stress are tangible actions you can take daily to turn down that background noise and free up your immune system's resources for fighting real threats. Remember, the slower response and reduced memory. Staying current with recommended vaccinations is a direct way to give your immune system the most relevant training and reminders it needs to recognize dangerous pathogens quickly. Simple habits like thorough hand washing and avoiding close contact with sick people become even more valuable. They reduce the initial burden on a system that takes a little longer to mobilize, even supporting the production and function of those vital immune cells, though naturally declining, can be influenced by ensuring your body has the building blocks it needs through good nutrition. A diet rich in vitamins like C, D, B6, B12, and folate, and minerals like zinc, selenium, and iron provides the essential fuel for immune cells to develop and function as well as possible. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Staying adequately hydrated is also simple but crucial for overall cellular function, including immune cells, and perhaps one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, supports for your aging immune system is managing stress. Chronic stress floods your body with hormones that suppress immune function and fuel inflammation. Finding healthy ways to cope, whether it's through mindfulness, gentle exercise, spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or connecting with loved ones, isn't just about feeling better mentally. It's a vital part of supporting your physical health, including your immune system. So, while these changes are a natural part of aging, they are not a sentence for perpetual illness. Far from it. They are an invitation to be more intentional about how you care for yourself. It's about focusing on the fundamentals of health with renewed purpose. Small, consistent changes, choosing that extra portion of vegetables, going for a short walk, getting to bed a little earlier, practicing a simple breathing exercise. These actions accumulate and build resilience in your immune system and your body as a whole. Don't let the technical details overwhelm you. The takeaway is simple. Your immune system changes, and understanding how it changes empowers you to support it effectively. It's about giving your body the best possible chance to stay healthy, fight off illness when it comes, and recover well. It's a journey of adapting and thriving, not declining. Remember, you are not alone in this. These changes are universal experiences of aging. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Perhaps a simple habit you've found helpful, or a question these points have raised for you. Connecting with others who are navigating similar paths can be incredibly valuable. If you found this conversation helpful and empowering, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us know we're providing valuable information. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss future videos aimed at helping you live your healthiest, happiest life at every age. There's so much more to explore together about how to thrive as the years go by. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life at every age.